and we go from the top of our purported A wave all the way to the bottom, and then retracement of the B wave, right? Basically the top of our double three WXY complex correction, we see that this line of support that I think is likely, it ends or it falls within the 1 to 1236, which is a typical C wave extension of a C wave extension of a corrective wave, right? Once you have an ABC, usually the C wave ends between the 1 and the 1236. However, we've just recently printed a zigzag on the larger time frames, right? This entire A move was a zigzag in my estimation. I counted a zigzag, okay? And the C wave of this A wave ended closer to 1618, actually with right above the 1618. So going back on our small time frames, I wouldn't be surprised, and this is why I'm saying 40 to 41K. I wouldn't be surprised if price found support closer to 40K than 41K, okay? Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is February 9th, 2022, and Bitcoin is looking like it's just about finished its B wave of our zigzag correction to the downside. All right. So, just as we said yesterday, okay, and let's go on the smaller time frame right now. We're on the hourly chart. Let's go on the 15-minute chart. We want to see some detail, okay? So just as we said yesterday, once you see 5 waves up followed by 5 waves down, you can almost guarantee that your corrective wave will be a 535 zigzag correction because there are no other options, right? So if you're reading that, if your read is correct and it's 5 waves up, expect 535, all right? And so that's what I'm seeing, and here's my count really quickly. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's my 5 waves down. And then everything I've gotten here, this is my reversal, right? And then I am seeing a simple, well, a complex WXY correction. So starting here, we got this yesterday, WXY. Okay, that's a complex correction. And essentially, what this complex correction is for pattern traders, they'll see a rising wedge, okay? They'll tend to see that pattern, a corrective rising wedge that is more than likely to break to the downside, okay? So that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. And once again, given that it's a zigzag correction, we can expect for the corrective B wave, right, comprised of the WXY, not to breach the 0.5 and 618 level. And this has been respected, right? Because we all know that zigzag corrections cannot retrace beyond the 618 of the 5 waves that comprise the A. So this would be your A wave, right? This WXY is your B wave, and then expect 5 waves down for C. All right? So far, so good in terms of our read and our analysis and what price has given us, right? Obviously, this can be a WXYXZ, you know, this can keep going. It doesn't matter really, as just as long as this level isn't breached, right? And yeah, it can keep correcting, and then the continuation is to the downside. Then we still have or zigzag. But so far, I would anticipate that WXY, a double 3, is it. I think that's what we're getting in this B wave. All right. So what is next? All right. Let's remove this. If we've gotten 5 waves here and 3 waves here, as I said, we can anticipate another 5 waves to the downside. So I believe, and this may be the start of the 5-wave impulse already, right? We may already have started, maybe not sure. But where can we anticipate these 5 waves end up? So yesterday, I think on the live stream, I mentioned that this right here was support. Okay, it's not strong support, but it is support. And it is likely support, especially given that it's wave 4 of the previous trend. And all of this zigzag is just an A wave, right? It's an initial break of structure. So what do we know about A waves is, 1, they're initial breaks of structure. 2, they're comprised of 3 waves, right? Just like any corrective wave, it's 3. Just like, this double 3 complex correction, it's 3 waves, right? So we have our 3 waves. Once we get these 5 waves down, and then the last thing we know about A waves is that they tend to target wave 4 of the previous trend, which this is, right? Because after we finished this, we counted a ending diagonal, right? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So basically 5 waves up, like so, all right? And I had that count on yesterday's episode as well as on the live stream. So I anticipate that we find support around here, right, between about 40 and 41K, okay? Again, this is not strong support, but it is bolstered. It's a likely sort of endpoint, given that it's a wave 4 and given that it's the first line of support. It's the first line in the sand. So let's zoom out on the hourly, and we see that we have a stronger support, but it's a wider ranging support here. And it's pretty much at the bottom here. If we pull out a trend line, we see that this is pretty much the bottom of range of a support, right? There's some wicking to the downside, obviously, but this is a likely place where price finds support. And then the last case we can make for this, let's make this a little thicker. The last case we can make for this line between 40 and 41K is just using our Fibonacci extension tool. So let me remove this for a moment. Okay, if we take our Fibonacci extension tool and we go from the top of our purported A wave all the way to the bottom, and then retracement of the B wave, right? Basically the top of our double 3 WXY complex correction, we see that this line of support that I think is likely, it ends or it falls within the 1 to 1236, which is a typical C wave extension of a C wave extension of a corrective wave, right? Once you have an ABC, usually the C wave ends between the 1 and the 1236. However, we've just recently printed a zigzag on the larger time frames, right? This entire A move was a zigzag in my estimation. I counted a zigzag, okay? And the C wave of this A wave ended closer to 1618, actually right above the 1618. So going back on our small time frames, I wouldn't be surprised, and this is why I'm saying 40 to 41K. I wouldn't be surprised if price found support closer to 40K than 41K, okay? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm basically going to, I'm in a short right now, and I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to watch the progression, the 5-wave progression down to the downside, and see more and more if I can get a more accurate read on where it would end. And, you know, basically I'm going to be using the typical extension, trend-based extension sort of guidelines for wave 1, for wave 3 rather, and wave 5. So, you know, wave 3 extends typically to the 1618, to between the 1618 and the 2 Fibonacci extension of wave 1 in a regular extension, right? And in expanded extension, you can go from the 2618 to the 4618, right? And wave 5 typically extends to the 618 of wave 3, or the inverse 1618 of wave 4. I'm going to use all of those tools to try and take profit accurately, right? And yes, if it does end up closer to 40K, I would think that it would wick there, because our next strong support, let's zoom out, our next strong support is actually around 39K here at the top of this structure right there. And that's more confluent with this 3-month support, right? This diagonal resistance that's now become support because we're above it. So that's our next support right here, should this one be breached. But I think that if anything, we wick below, we wick below, and maybe do something like this here, and, you know, we see a bottom of this 5-wave structure, the last leg of the zigzag, to between 40 and 41K. Okay, and lastly, just looking ahead a bit, if our analysis is correct, and we do indeed get our 5 waves down today or sometime soon to this level, what can we expect next? So I did say that this was an A wave, right? This is an initial break of structure. So do anticipate a B wave. Whatever it is, it can be a flat, it can be a zigzag, but we can anticipate 3 waves in counter to this A wave, okay? So that's just how it works. Where those 3 waves go, I don't know. It can go anywhere from the 0.5. It can't actually be a 0.5 because these are 3 waves. So it has to go to at least, we know that this B wave has to go to at least the 786. Why do we know that? Okay, because we have 3 waves here. It's a zigzag, but it's still 3 waves, macro, right? So you know that if you have 3 waves, you're going to make a flat correction because it has to be a 335 correction, right? So a flat correction retraces to at least the 786. So we can already say, given what we know now and what price is done, we can already say that whatever the B wave is, whatever kind of flat correction, because it can be multiple types of flat corrections, we can anticipate it come back up to at least the 786, okay? Is it going to do so in 3-wave structure? I don't know. Can it go all the way to the 1236 and 1618? Absolutely. It can go as high as 48K, right? Or it can go as low as 44.5. But basically, we can anticipate in the coming days quite a bit of velocity. And this is the nature of corrective price action, right? When you're not in pure impulse, this is what you get. A bunch of chop, up and down and up and down and up and down. But the beautiful part about that is that if you know how to read, if you're chart literate, especially with a solid system like Elliott wave principles, right? You're able to take advantage of this volatility and trade it, right? You can wait for reversal patterns down here somewhere and then enter along and quite confidently set minimum targets at the 786 of whatever this A wave structure ends up being, right? So that's a possible trade idea. Obviously, you want to be very careful because the general trend is down. We anticipate quite a lot of downward price action, right? Because if this is A and this is B, then C is going to be a massive impulsive move to the downside, right? Because we know it's 3 waves, 5 waves. So you definitely, if you're looking to trade this B wave to the upside, want to do so very carefully using good risk management and in anticipation for this big move down. So that's pretty much all I have for today for the Bitcoin price action. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Please like the video if you've gotten value from this. Thank you for watching until the end. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and share this video with others who you think may benefit from sound technical analysis, right or wrong. It's sound and thorough. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.